Welcome back to my channel, Scale Model Kit Review Studio, and welcome back to another FanHome Build the Enterprise D. That's right, this is from Star Trek, The Next Generation. This is the largest metal and plastic Enterprise kit out there. Do not pass it up. Head over to FanHome today and subscribe to this build. I put a direct link in the description below, right here, and also above. Let's get started. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review Studio, and welcome back to another episode of the FanHome Star Trek The Next Generation Build the U.S.S Enterprise D. Now I am working on magazine 23 or pack 23, and it's been a pleasure to build this so far. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So for pack 23 we have 4 more stages to build here. Stage 87 through 90, and magazine is great here. It's actually an episode guide, so of course we'll go through the build instructions as we go along in this video, but we'll start off with covering what's in the magazine here. We're already up to season 5 episode 10, and that would be New Ground. And that aired in January 6, 1992. And then we have Season 5, Episode 11, Hero Worship. Season 5, Episode 12, Violations. Season 5, Episode 13, The Masterpiece Society. Season 5, Episode 14, Conundrum. Season 5, Episode 15, Power Play. Season 5, Episode 16, Ethics. And there you go. So let's go ahead and look at the parts that came with this pack. Stage 87, we have the front sensor dish there. Stage 88, deck panel here. Stage 90, very large bag, mainly because we have this skeleton frame assembly here. And lastly, again, another deck panel for stage 90. Let's get started. Okay, so for stage 87, to begin this video, we have the parts here and deck panel along with the main deflector dish, center portion or the outer portion. For 87, I'm going to reacquaint myself with the main deflector and fit it to the battle section before assembling other section of the lower saucer. So we're going to grab our part that we already have assembled back from stage 3. So I need to retrieve that, put some screws into it, install in that outer section that we received here. And we're going to go ahead and install that into the battle section with a couple of AM screws. I'm going to plug the LED into the circuit board. I'm going to work on a deck panel. Get everything going there. Put on the phaser array for that. Here's the parts for stage 87. Let's get a closer look. AM screws and CP screws. We have our front deflector dish, this outer panel for that, clear blue plastic, windows. Here's the deflector dish assembly that I built up back in stage 3. We're going to go ahead and take the outer cover for the deflector dish that we just received in this stage and insert that together. And then on the back side here, we're going to put in 2 CP screws. Here's the main battle section, and we're going to install the deflector dish on it. We want to make sure it matches the curvature there. So this curve right here will go down on that, and they're going to mount to 2 lugs that stick up on top, and 2 AM screws will go into this, 1 on each side. And both screws are installed and tight. Next, I ran my wiring for the LEDs, 1 on each side here, along the side here, and right on the circuit board, and it runs right there. Next, this deck panel was assembled. Added the escape hatch covers and the windows themselves, phaser array. AM screws were used for all these up here, and CP screws down below. And that's all I do with stage 87. Let's head over and get started on stage 88. Stage 88, I built another deck panel, and that's going to feed on to the last deck panel we assembled. Got some LED lights for that. And just as always, we'll go ahead and assemble the deck panel here, adding all the windows. Now the key here is add in half the windows and then put in your reflector on half of them, put your screws in, and then put the other half of windows in, and then put the other reflector on. It makes it so much easier. Then we're going to route the new LEDs that we got to the board. We're going to hook those LEDs up to the deck panel, put some screws in, plug in another set of LEDs. We're going to route those to the middle part, the panel we just completed, previous stage, and we're going to put that panel down, making sure everything is lined up and secure, and put in some FM screws. I think we're going to go back to our battle section. We're going to neaten up the wires with some retainers, both sides. Let me get the parts. I'll be right back. Here's the parts for 88. You can see we got those retainers in there, windows, lights, deck panel. Let's get a closer look. AM, BP, and FM screws. We have our windows, we have our wire retainers, deck panel, and reflector. Alright, this deck panel is complete. You can see that. Windows look great there. BP screws were used for this. Left out the other screws because we have to mount some LEDs to this once it's mounted to the saucer area. Next, I grabbed the longest LED wire that we received in this stage, and that's the yellow and white and black and red wire, and that is routed through this section here, and then this part here, the red and black, is routed through here. Routes this way all the way to the circuit board. Got plugged in on the very end here of the circuit board right there. not the very end, but next to the other two we did in the last pack. Next, I brought over that deck panel that we didn't put all the screws into, and I inserted those LEDs, the yellow and white on this one and the red and black on that one. Then I put in the rest of my BP screws for that to lock those in. And next I ran the other wire harness we received with this pack, ran it to come out both these areas here, yellow and black over here and the red and blue right there. Ran it through that channel in between the supports, and it got plugged in right there. Next I went ahead and installed the LEDs onto that panel on the top here. I used tape to help hold it in. I'm going to curve these down out of the way. And then we can go ahead and insert this panel. Install this over the top here to lock that in. And lock that panel in. Alright, so all the FM screws are installed and tight. Looks very good. Everything seems to be lined up very well there. And just doing a lighting test on that. Looks good. Here's the battle section here. I'm going to tidy up the wires that are in here with these wire retainers. Okay, so 4 clips were installed on this side. We have one right here, one right there, and right there. Turn this over. And 2 more clips were installed on this side, right here and right there. And that's all I do with stage 88. Let's head over and get started on stage 89. For stage 89, be working on another deck panel here, but this time we also received the battle section lower bracket. That's this right here. For stage 89, I'll begin working on the underside of the battle section before building and fitting the further deck panel on the lower saucer assembly. So there that is right there. We're going to put these little springs in right there. Then we're going to go ahead and mount the vertical phaser array that we received in stage 83, and we'll secure that down on the other side with some FP screws. Then we'll go ahead and assemble another deck panel with the windows and such, and we're going to install that on the saucer. Let me get the parts. I'll be right back. 89 was this very large bag of parts. And that's because of this bad boy right there. Let's get a closer look. AM screws, FM screws, FP screw, and IM screw. And here's that lower panel there. Very nice. A deck panel. Escape pod covers, the springs. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is install the phaser array here, and that's going to go down on top of that. But first we need to put our springs in and very carefully insert those in here so I don't lose them. Once that's in there, then I can go ahead and put the phaser array down on top of that. FP screw goes in, 2 of them on the back side here, and there you go. And that's just designed to go up and down. This deck panel has been assembled. We put the escape pod covers on. I used AM screws for that and IM screws for the edge of the saucer. Make sure it's flush there, which it is. Now we'll go ahead and mount this to the saucer. Okay, I inserted it on the saucer. That's this right here, and it's overlapping the top. I'm going to use FM screws to tighten everything down. Everything's tight, and it is over the edge there. That looks good. And I will save the cover for last. That's all I do with stage 89. Let's head over and finish up this video with stage 90. Alright, welcome back. We'll go ahead and continue here with the final stage for this video, stage 90. Another deck panel will get assembled. I have a slide door and sliding door brackets, so that's something new. Alright, so for stage 90 we're going to install the sliding door for mounting your Enterprise D onto its display base, then merge the upper and lower battle section brackets to form a hole. So there we go there. There's the sliding door and those sliding door brackets that will hold the door in place. Then we're going to merge the battle section lower bracket to the upper bracket. A lot of screws going in there. Looks like all FMs and a few BMs. Then we'll work on another deck panel, and we'll install that last piece of deck panel, and that will complete the video. Let me get the parts. I'll be right back. Here's parts for 90. Let's get a closer look. AM, BM, IM, and a buttload of FM screws. We have our deck panel. Very nice there, made of metal. All the parts for it. Escape hatch cover, and the sliding door. Okay, so we'll go ahead and work on this lower battle section. We're going to put this sliding door in place. Now it does have like a little notch here, and that's going to be facing downward. So we'll slide that in. So when you go to move it back and forth, you can see that notch will help you out. You can put a screwdriver or something in there to help you open and close it. Now we'll go ahead and put our brackets on, and they're simply going to line up with the holes that are here, and these brackets will keep the sliding door in place. FM screws go into that. The brackets for the sliding door are installed. All the screws are tight. Now we'll go ahead and install this onto the battle section. We'll bring that over. That's that right there. And line everything up here. And we're going to be putting in a whole lot of screws here. Got some FM screws going in on the outside. We have BM screws on the inside, and we have an AM screw on the back. All the screws are in and tight. Make sure you tighten them down all the way. So we have FM screws out on the outside here, going all the way back, both sides. AM screw back here, FM screw right there, FM, 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 FM. And then we have BM, 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 and a BM. Okay, this deck panel has been assembled. Everything in place. AM screws on the back and IM screws down here. All set to go. We'll go ahead and install this on the saucer. And of course this one does go right there. Make sure you put it over the lip there. Looks good. And 2 FM screws go into that. And there you go. Deck panel is installed all the way. The cover will get put away for safekeeping, but that completes stage 90. I'll be right back. And there we go. That completes pack 23. I'm having a blast doing this. This is a lot of fun. I've got a lot done here with the saucer here. This is the bottom side there, looking very good. And then we have battle section there, looking good. And we will be progressing on as we go with these videos. I appreciate everybody who's been following along on my channel and with this build. If you think you'd like to get this for yourself, head over to FanHome and subscribe to this today. If it's available, subscribe to it. I would highly recommend it. With that, please subscribe to my channel and smash that like button. Happy modeling, everybody, and take care.